Jinx 88.5.
Jinx 88.5 FM.
We got the flavor. His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the star is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up to be on paper. You have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
The University of Liberia Students Union also expresses deep concern over the persistent financial crisis that has plagued the university, particularly the failure of the administration to pay part-time instructors for the past 7 months. We stand in unwavering solidarity with the part-time faculty and the Joint Faculty Association in their legitimate civil requests for salary arrears, and additionally demands transparency and accountability in the UL financial management. Also, in alignment with part-time instructors and the Joint Faculty Association, hereby demands swift action of the government and the University of Liberia administration to address the following concerns.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, a good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him pamper. Every day I gotta buy a pamper. There's a man who bought me pamper before. I'm buying pamper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he insisted, he said, when you run for one term, he insisted it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Boakai, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, a good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. Really, man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he himself said it. He said, when you run for one term, he himself said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else. These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Boakai, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, a good everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy a paper. Really, man who bought me paper before. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. He old. He take Kun is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him as president. The old man is old. He take to produce vice president or our prayer. When you turn to the man, the old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? Against our prayer for you to produce vice president. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No. The old man is old. He take Kun to be vice president. When we win, and I could be doing a job for him. Can he go everywhere? No.
I'm just warming up. So get ready for me. For the next 13 days, I will keep you crying. You're crying all over the place. What I will continue to do, I have already succeeded in completely demoralizing your base. You're just crying all over the place. I haven't even started. I'm just warming up. How dare you, foolish, desperate people, of a rescue country? Joseph Boakai couldn't even rescue himself. So he passing around, that. Where were you foolish, desperate people of a rescue country? Joseph Boakai couldn't even rescue himself. So how dare you, foolish, desperate people of a rescue country? Joseph Boakai couldn't even rescue himself. So he passing around, that. Where were you raising money left and right to feed him? Where were you raising money left and right to feed him? Where were you raising money left and right to feed him and flying him from hospital to hospital? Where were you raising money left and right to feed him and flying him from hospital to hospital? Where were you all sitting there talking nonsense, talking about because I ain't got no integrity? I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai. I got no integrity. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai. Your God, I ain't got no integrity. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai. Your God. I didn't have integrity when I was feeding Joseph Boakai. Your God. Bunch of ungrateful people. Have you heard Joseph Boakai deny that I was raising money left and right to feed him? Have you heard him deny it? He will never deny it because he knows this to be true. Have you noticed what's happening to you all? And I haven't even started. I'm just warming up. So get ready for me. What I'm going to display and publish, you all will see.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working on profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because their SAR is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
We're back to talk the issues as they unfold. Not favoring anyone, not against anyone, but patriotic and nationalistic. That's what it is. We are on our obligation to revolutionize, make the country better, irrespective of how people feel. Compromising nothing but doing what is right. So let me say good afternoon. Thank you so very kindly that you joined us for the show Real Talk on Kings 88.5 with me in St. Andrews on this 25th day of March 2025 in the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. We've got the issues to look at. We are in the office of acknowledgement is 4,000. Start playing the King's Cash giveaway now. Start playing dial star 799 star 24 hash. Play with $1 or 70 cents US and get for your Tuesday 4,000 Liberian dollars. You want to start playing now? Waste no time. Just start. Dial star 799 star 24 hash. Play with 200 Liberian dollars, or that's $1, sorry, $1 Liberian dollar or 70 cents US, and then you can have your 10,000. Renin say, Bo, you are on from District 11, Badnasville, State. This is the throne or seat of the man who claims to be Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emilia S. Delaney. You are on also from Badnasville, Boimine, 1977, Cooper. You're on. You didn't say, but good to have you on. Ansu Coleman. You are on from the Economic Freedom Fighters of Liberia headquarters. That party has gone dead. Solowat Corsia, you're on from your comfort zone. You said New Georgia Estate. Henry T. Joe Jr., you're on from your Carwell resident. Emmanuel Brawl. Matilda Stevens, you're on. Yes, I do not know the time zone in your area, but it's good day. Yes, so let me say good day in your area too, wherever you are around the world. Matilda Stevens, Musa A. Sharif from Sophie Community, Congo Town. Clarence Dwe, you are on. Your leg, this guy, Representative. You can call about Ruin. Jew, that's J Tugbe. J Tugbe, you're on from New Georgia Sambo community. Good. My dear brother, you've come on. Josephus Manning from the city that never sleeps. Good to have you on. Estelle MG Play, you are on. Ability Weah, you're also on. Paul Bappin Lee from Johnsonville. Diane Davids, you're on from Manhattan. Your residents, New York City, the United States of America. George Watkins, you are on from District 13. Akoita Lua, you are on. Good to have you on, my dear Southeastern sister. Dwight Tay, you are on. Hope that you are faring well. Good to have you on. Emmanuel, that's Amara Jalo Kamara, you are on. Jackson Pony of Iron Factory, Block 13, you're member of the Intellectual Center, Block 13 Intellectual Center, you said, and then you are there with the chairman of the block, Romancio Laputan, Cannibal, as he's affectionately or widely known. Thank you all. Good to have the Intellectual Center of Block 13 on with the entire crew, I am told, following by radio and television. That's good to have all of you on. Gabriel Mang, you are also on too. You are following with your family from Broadville. Good to have all of you on. We've got the issues to talk about. Time is of the essence. Let's get started. But we start with money because we are in the reign of Nebuchadnezzar. It is not easy. This is a preview of the tribulation period. You will need money in the tribulation period. Besides the mark, if you can get the mark of the beast, you don't have any money, you will die. In this reign of Nebuchadnezzar, you need money. We're giving 4,000 for your Tuesday today. 4,000. Dial star 799 star 24 hatch. Play with $1 or 70 cents US, and then you have your 10,000. Oh, did I say no? Sorry. 4,000. We aren't immune from error. Only God is immune. So my apology on that. All right. So let's get started now. Time is of the essence. Tomorrow, the Supreme Court will rule or hear final arguments into the House of Representatives misunderstanding vis-a-vis the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa Bill of Information. The Supreme Court will hear arguments into that. And after that, as we were drilled through the legal process by Teacher Light, A.B. Weah, and then they will make a determination. So tomorrow, we shouldn't expect a final ruling or determination. Final arguments will be on tomorrow. And then at a later date, the court will come out to make it clear who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Interestingly, everyone knows who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Councillor J. Fonati Kofa. Ahead of the arguments on tomorrow, one of those who is a member of the House of Representatives. Marvin Cole will give out a caution to the man who sees himself as the next president of Liberia, Vice President Jeremiah Cole. He alleges that the vice president has started for days now putting pressure on the Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court by calling individually, making promise to them that the ruling go in favor of Richard Cohn. They should rule in favor of Richard Cohn against Fonati Kofa. That one of the promises, according to Marvin Cole, with the Chief Justice going out, one of the persons on the bench, particularly a lady, will become the next Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia. What that means is if the Chief Justice will differ or would not go in favor by their ruling or their procedure, most of them, I think there are 5, yeah? Yes, they should go in favor of the man who they see as their speaker. Marvin Cole made it clear that he continues to make telephone calls here and there, overnight telephone call, day telephone calls, sending surrogates, making some personal interventions on why the full bench of the Supreme Court should rule in favor. The vice president had always been supportive of the majority bloc. He is on record, he's accused of being one of the persons who have been the mastermind and executing everything for several months now. Marvin Cole came out today to make it clear that the vice president of Liberia, Jeremiah Cohn, is putting undue influence on the Chief Justice and Associate Justices by communicating with them, calling them personally, and telling them what the executive wants against what the public expect. The public expectation is the court will rule, or they will make a determination after the final argument in favor of Fonati Kofa, because he is the speaker, and the vice president and his people don't want that at all. They have installed Richard Cohn. Richard Cohn has executed and continue to execute several functions. In their understanding, it will be a disgrace, a shame. Should Richard Cohn come down if the court rule against him as not being the legitimate speaker, it will be a big political bloody nose against the majority bloc, the executive, and every other person or persons who support that coup. So he had been, according to Marvin Cole, doing his groundwork, going to the extreme to pressure them by influencing them, making concessions to them that the ruling should go in favor of the man Richard Cohn. Let's have a listen to Marvin Cole on that.
It is unconfirmed, but you know, our local language or parlance, people say, where there is smoke, it's likely that you see fire. Vice President Cohn is trying to use undue influence, but we believe in the integrity of the court and those members of the bench, from the Chief Justice to all of the 4 Associate Justices. Those individuals are people with impeccable character, people of integrity that you cannot bend it, you cannot do anything. We are calling on the Vice President to stop his undue influence. The law is the law, and you are not going to bend the law in any means. It is clearly understood and believed that he's placing call to members of the Supreme Court bench trying to gamble the CJ position, because you know that the Chief Justice soon to retire. And he assuring some of the justices, those people are smarter than you are, Mr. Vice President. They know that the law is the law. Once the CJ is out, retire honorably, and another CJ will be appointed. I know that this is the game that he's continued to play. The best thing we anticipated from this vice president, not to be a supporter of the Joseph Boakai-led government, but to be a fixer. When the crisis ensued, as a second president, who sits at the legislature, the Constitution, the framework of the Constitution, the reason they thought that the vice president should be at the legislature. When you have crisis, that vice president will be here to mitigate peace. But at no point in time, he had tried to mitigate peace. And his public utterances only suggest that he's backing the lawless majority of those individuals. When he was at the United States, in the United States of America, he was being quizzed. And he said, Fanatikova has lost legitimacy, where the chaplain general, where the chief clerk will be, where the sergeant at arms will be, and that area is considered to be corrupt. It was the most laughable things I've heard in my life for the vice president of our country to have made such staggering revelation. I believe it was disingenuous on his part. It only further validates his alignment with these individuals to invade the Constitution of the Republic. And that is why he had conducted himself. He went to the point where he said the Minister of Justice interpreted the opinion of the Supreme Court. Mr. Vice President, no statute within our jurisprudence that gave the Minister of Justice the authority to interpret any law of our country. No authority, no constitutional power. The Constitution is clear. The Minister of Justice only random pieces of advice to the President as per the law. The only branch of government that has the authority to interpret statutes and laws of our country, that's the judicial branch of government. If they did so, I believe this man, it was the same game our vice president played. They promised the Minister of Justice that he's going to be the next CJ, and he should come up and make a statement along with constitutional or legal advisor to the president, Mr. Bushiban Keita, and then Vani Sherman, who is a lawyer. All of them concocted this plan to plunge this country into chaos, because their advice to the president that the president listened to, that it meant what the Supreme Court meant, that the lawless majority were proceeding rightly based on his advice. The president acted, and actors within the executive decided to do business with the lawless majority. That could have led this country into civil crisis. But because of our tolerance and the maturity of our leader, J. Fanatikova, the speaker, we continue to play safe, because we do not want to return to the dark days. Based on the erroneous, baseless criminal interpretation or advice of the Minister of Justice to the President, I'm calling on the President or the Minister of Justice, the honorable thing to do is to resign ahead of the hearing of the Honorable Supreme Court.
Representative J. Marvin Cole with that claim or insinuation or allegation that the vice president is putting undue pressure on the full bench of the Supreme Court to make a determination or legitimize Richard Cohn as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Grace Scott said, any move to rule in favor of Cohn, let's get ready for 1990 again. This nonsense must stop. We are not stupid. Darius Paul Twain says, I will not be surprised when the court rule in favor of Richard Cohn, because I know Liberian justice system too good. So that's what he revealed today. Last week, it came out, the Front Page Africa will raise a concern based on credible information it claimed to have received that financial inducement was taking place within the corridor of the Supreme Court of Liberia ahead of the final determination. The court was saying nothing to that, and that is in the court of public opinion. But it is where we are. This country is in a terrible state. The Supreme Court finds itself in an embarrassing position. While we may not agree 100% with the Representative Marvin Cole, it is his opinion. They are close to the terrain where all these are happening, but you can outrightly root it out also because he is an integral member. This country is small. Everybody is a family member. We are in a small cage. So information flows in and out. We know what unfolded, what happened during the first stuff that the court refused to honor. I think it was 3 or 4 documents or attempts the speaker made, and those attempts were given blind eye to his concerns raised legally, not until public pressure that they've decided to look into this one. So it would not be a surprise if they rule in favor of Kung, but they cannot rule in favor of Kung. If they ever did that, they will be plunging the country in chaos, and it will live with the country for a very long time. They will be putting the country, stalling everything development. They will be telling international investors not to come to this country. They will be telling the rest of the people this government is not a trusted government. They will be telling the international community that sanction should come upon this country. Anything short of operating within the law, it will degenerate into chaos. We do not want that. Under no circumstance do we want anything like that. That is why we are averting or preventing it before it can happen by telling the Supreme Court, the people who are well versed in the law, to do what the law requires. Richard Coon is not the speaker. Richard Coon was never elected. Nothing parliamentary about his ascendancy. He was installed as a junta leader. That's how a junta person becomes a leader. The few guys who hijack power, they choose one person amongst them. I was watching a documentary on Burkina Faso. That's how Burkina Faso guy Traore took the helm of the presidency. That he was chosen after they led the coup. He was chosen amongst the other guys as their leader. We know about Guinea and other places around the region. So anything that is undemocratic, it is juntaism. Anything that is undemocratic is mercenarism. Anything that is undemocratic is rebellism. Nothing legitimacy, nothing is attached to it. That is why juntaism, in the doctrine of juntaism, they suspend any and everything democratic. They do according to their own will what they want against the vast majority of the people. Those of you who will not want the expression to be used, except that literally you do not know what juntaism is. Within juntaism, what you see is kleptocratism. They steal. Do you know that right now the country do not have a dime? Before the budget could even pass, Every cent, every dollar was already tampered with, already used. Do you know that everything they were doing over there called budget hearing, it was just a covered up, a smoke screen? Well, that's how junta behave. That is the core character of juntaism. And the leader of the junta movement supports everything his colleagues bring to him. And that is what you see over and over of Richard Coon. He is not the speaker. He cannot be recognized as the speaker. Jackson Pony, okay, you are on. Good to have you on alongside Romancio Latupan, Kenny Ball for short, the chairman of the intellectual block type team. Iron Factory, good to have you guys on. Hope that you are faring well. He cannot be recognized. The Supreme Court, under no circumstance, can recognize Richard Coon as the speaker. Richard Coon is not the speaker of the House of Representatives. Richard Coon was installed. There is a difference between installing a person and electing a person. Thomas Fowler is the deputy speaker of the House of Representatives. Ask Thomas Fowler, did they conduct an election? They said the speaker should be elected. The Constitution provides the format, the number of votes that one needs to obtain to become the speaker. And when he or she obtains those votes, the next thing is how the person is inducted. Was he inducted by the chief clerk? Fonati Kofa, we saw before Fonati Kofa, everybody that won the election from Yondwe, Monokomna, Snow, all of those guys, they were sworn in by the chief clerk of the House or the Senate. Was that done? No. Did anybody cast ballot? No. Richard Coon was called to the stage, and Thomas Fowler wrote 1 or 2 lines and said, in the midst of his colleagues, he said, put your hand up. Because it wasn't democratic, the man showed to the whole world truly that it wasn't democratic. It was purely a junta ceremony going on. He put his left hand up instead of his right hand, Richard Coon. That was a confirmation that this thing, we are doing it hurry and hurry, hurry, hurry. So the beginning would say, hurry, hurry, boss trouser. The Supreme Court has no option. It is noon. Everyone is aware. The final arguments, people, is on tomorrow. The Supreme Court will be hearing arguments from the 2 sides. Councillor Speaker J. Fonati Kofa legal team and the legal team of the rebels, the juntas, and all the people that are on the majority bloc side. They have only 2 lawyers represented there. Phil, frustrated, bad legacy of Vani Shema, and one other man. They have no argument. I'm not basing my argument on what Marvin Cole said. He's entitled to his opinion. I just thought to share it with you. But it doesn't say his opinion does not have substance. No, it has substance. They are close to the corridor of the Supreme Court. They are colleagues. They intermingle. They run through their telephone conversations, information flow here and there. So you cannot dismiss his argument about the vice president. We know that the vice president had been supportive of this. The vice president They accuse him of being the mastermind, the one that was given the authority by President Boakai to execute the plan. And he had always been comfortable with regime speaker because he has the backing of regime, the vice president. He goes to announce himself as the regime speaker, and they've been very comfortable moving together. I'd like to show you the three of them, the three political musketeers. These are them: the vice president, the man who says he's speaker, and the deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, Thomas Fowler. You see the three of them together, laughing, enjoying the country's money, power, wealth. These three individuals. You see them? Here they are, the three. In the purple suit is the vice president, and then there is deputy speaker and Representative Richard Kuhn in the junta coat. Okay, so what other thing did he say? What other thing did Marvin Cole say? Marvin Cole, before I can open the line, went further to say that all these things that are happening, they are calculated. That's something that these guys have discussed, the plan, and they are putting pressure on President Joseph Yuma Boakai so that he will leave the stage before 2029, that they do not want Boakai to move into 2029, but that something, according to Marvin Cole, whose voice I'm about to play again, according to him, they are putting pressure on President Joseph Yuma Boakai so he will leave the stage, then they can take over and do what they want to do to this country or what they plan. According to Representative Marvin Cole, not Sam Andrew saying it, not Kings FM, but Representative Marvin Cole, that these guys are putting so much pressure on Boakai, giving his age, giving his frail health, so that something will happen and Boakai is off the stage, then they take over by the succession clause. Here is Representative Marvin Cole.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
Did you hear that? Criminally, so that the old man will give up the ghost. Give out the ghost or give up the ghost is a euphemism. Is a euphemism for death. It is a euphemism for death. They say he has given up the ghost. He passed away. He kicked the bucket, and on we can go with all of that. Danami, I've just explained, but that's what I mean when somebody say to give up the ghost, it means death. So in essence, he's saying these people who are around Boakai, they're putting so much pressure on our president, so he will die, and then they take over. That's what Marvin Cole is saying. I'm only explaining that side to you, the figurative expression. Listen again.
To put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and they are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratic. To put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. The presidency of this republic has been desecrated, and I'm hoping that will not continue in that vein. But I can say to anybody, it is our prayers that President Baka will go beyond 2029, and even 2039, he will go beyond that. It is our prayers and hope that the Almighty God will keep him, because they are agents. There are demons at the doors of this country that are willing to put this country back into a bloodshed. The only hope we have is God to protect the life of Joseph Boakai until he can save the term power in 2029, which I know he will do honorably. So that is why I thought to encourage every one of us and to encourage members of the Supreme Court bench. If us lawmakers cannot bow down to the pressure from these people, I know that members of the Supreme Court should not bow down to any pressure, no telephone calls in the night, no harassment. Do not be misled. No gift from the devil is free. Somebody is promising you that they will convince the president to appoint or nominate you as the next Supreme Court Chief Justice. That is completely baseless. You have more wisdom and intelligence that you cannot allow one elementary group of people to come and misinform you and mislead you. I said President Boakai does not need spoilers. So those individuals who have decided to be spoilers, let them go find different place and know. And who are the underminers? They go to the president and make the president to know that the CDC, the other political opposition, they want to bring your government down. Mr. President, we can assure you by our conduct over the past 4 months with our salaries, with our benefits. I wonder you, the president, if you had an opportunity that your salary and benefit will be stopped as the president of the republic, how and when your family going to survive. But we have withstood the test of times and believe that the rule of law must be upheld at every given time. That's why we have not encouraged violence. But the serpent theory, if you push the serpent to the wall, at the end day, the serpent will return to bite you. And when it comes to bite, the venom will be very terrible for you. What we want to send, the message we want to send will continue to be law-abiding until we hear from the Supreme Court. Every well-meaning Liberian that will listen to me today, we encourage you to turn up to support the rule of law, to stand by the Constitution of this republic. And a nation without the rule of law is a nation that is poised to go to civil crisis, or a nation that poised to fall. So I'm hoping that all our citizens, our friends across the world, our international partners, I think it is now about time to call on the Americans, the European Union, all these international partners, the West African region, that nobody should give credence to these people, because you open your doors and they hold meetings for you. This is what continue to encourage the impasse of the legislature. There need to be urgent sanction, urgent doors should be closed before these people. And because Liberians are not prepared to run. See in the streets of Monrovia today, students, now they are protesting because no instructors in the classroom. When you came, the first that the people gave you, told them you've come to rescue and you are going to increase their salary. You are not doing that. Rather, you are brutalizing them. It's so sad.
Representative Marvin Cole. All right. So that's it. That's it. That's all I can say to that. But listen, if you wish evil for a person, according to how it works by God's plan, you'll die before that person. Our president is our president. He was elected democratically and sworn in constitutionally. We may not agree with him on everything he does or says, but he is the leader. We are in a serious intellectual den with the issues. Our responsibility is to keep the government's feet to the fire by making the government to do what is right, what it ought to do, why the president took off, also to help safeguard the president as he delivers his developmental agenda. But it is not to wish the president evil. He will be around. Our president will continue to be around. We will continue to take him into the hands of God by prayer, and he will, from day to day, be strong and strengthened to lead this country. If anybody think that they can get to the presidency, or they want to get to the presidency by shortcut and by fast tracking the years or reversing the years like the diaspora Jews did in James chapter 4, it will not happen. You can fast track or you can reverse time. No, you have to wait for time. Okay, so that's it. You're listening to Real Talk on Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 25th day of March 2025. Just so you know, we are transmitting from Central Moravia Front Street, adjacent the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. It's 4,000. We're giving out 4,000. Keep playing the King's Cash giveaway. The more you play, the likelihood of your 10,000. It's your Tuesday 4,000. Sorry, man, I just used to this 10,000. You know, sorry, we always giving out 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Yeah, so I used to it. It's 4,000 today. 4,000. 4,000. Play with $1 or 70 cents US. Dial star 799 star 24 hatch. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stop it and play 2 times, and then you play 3 times, and then you play 4 times, and then you play 5 times. As you play, you will have your 4,000. $1 can give you 4,000. I wish that I had that opportunity. I'll do that, but again. So let's go to the comment section first. Let's see those of you who have left your comments. Let's see. Perry Slobot said, so true, Representative Honorable Cole. These gangsters call themselves majority bloc, need serious sanction. Simeon D. Tar said, the Supreme Court can contradict itself. They are the final arbiter of justice. Any attempt by the court to recognize the junta Kun as speaker will undermine the democratic tendency and rule of law. J. Tugbe said, I believe that the Supreme Court will rule in favor of Mr. Kofa. Yo, hold on. I'm reading the people comments. Just as you want to be heard, they too have the right to be heard. William Massacre said, the Supreme Court can never contradict itself by recognizing Kun as speaker. Grace Scott writes, Richard 245, left hand. You gave out a bag yet. But Biggie, let me read the people comment. Gracie Grace. Grace Scott, she said, Richard 245 left hand cool. Try anything. Okay. Emmanuel Broad say, I foresee that the regime speaker Richard Namwe and his collaborators will receive political bloody notes because the Supreme Court bench members won't succumb to VP Kuhn's pressure on them. Tobasi, yours is always long, but let me do you justice. You say education and miseducation got our elected government officials to be arrogant, thinking their uneducated brothers and sisters are nobody and should suffer. Okay. Where we go again? That new thing Grace Nagel, I wish I could memorize that. Okay, so let's get to the line. Let me see Grace. We go back to Grace. That's what it is. Oh, so that is a Richie 2 for 5 left hand. You gotta explain that didn't go Grace. I understand it. But let's get to the line first. Let's get to the line 0772 23 99 33. The WhatsApp line 886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. The numbers to have your say on the show. Let's go now. Hello. Hello? You are on the air. Hello? What's going on with the women's line? All right. Yeah, hold on. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, Semanju.
Yeah, let's hear you quick. What's happening? Let's hear you. Let's hear you. All of the lines are ringing.
Nowhere in the world.
My man, leave that thing. That Grace on there. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, this is David King, and I do join you from my residence somewhere along the road in Spent Notice.
Let's hear you quick.
Mr. Andrew, it is true that there are individuals that have been given preferment by Uben Bwaka that are not praying for a good health. They are not praying for him to even survive in his presidency to see another year. And that is sheer weakness.
All right.
And Uncle Cole did not just say that, but these are things that some of us have been hearing from government appointees. That all that they are doing to this country, it is meant to give them fallback position just in case the worst happens. A friend of mine working at government as a assistant minister said that to me in confidence. So I know fully well that so many people, they feel that they are doing in this country, they are just doing it because they know they are not too sure of the women's health. And it is not God that gave life. So
Thank you, Mr. King.
Who to die, when to die. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, brother?
Yeah, good. Let's hear you.
Thank you for the show this afternoon. Well, you see, Jeremiah Kun is a man who lacks power. I listened to Jeremiah Kun recording this one time when he was talking high. I'm pressing past president when Josh Weah there, he packed up the rope. So this may not mean business. He too really he want to go to the presidency, but the plan he get, he plan fake. So you should know. And the Supreme Court tomorrow, by the grace of God, the ruling will come out the best way by the law of Nigeria. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. You are on.
Yeah, hello.
Well, when we put you on, you call. We okay you, then you can be doing different things. Yeah, speak now.
Hello. Yeah, this is Leila female calling from Brazil.
Yeah, let's hear you.
My question here is the why they put them making for auto every day they're doing it. For also now it's not actually just justice. The way they behaving, they won't be war in the country. So in case someone crashes in the country, who will be someone they crash because they get your mark, they get yourself a couple. Ever now be responsible for the way you're going at dinner. So because the one I make it when they do it, go sit all of the country will be here, will be solving inside.
All right, thank you. Hello. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Edmund Carr. You know, it is true. There are a lot of political maneuvering when you come to the whole majority Supreme Court stuff. But I'm strongly believe that Supreme Court will not allow themselves to be used for that integrity to be rubbed in the mud. So I have extremely confidence in them that they will come up clear. But what is remain is, whether when they come up with their ruling, they will be the Liberia party. They will wash their hands out of it. Whether the executive will listen to them, it's what we don't know what going to happen.
The executive have no option.
Let it be on the record.
Okay.
As for
Thank you.
The minority about Weah, it is clear, but they are not God. Okay? He has to be there until he can be able to rescue you that want to cut short his presidential ambition. God is not going to allow it to happen.
All right, thank
because
you, sir.
Guys are even more desperate.
Thank you. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Andrews.
Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. This is Spencer Mohammed, and I call from a Brook on Down Coast Spoon Hill, Winter Community. Mr. Andrews, thank you very much for highlighting this issue. But I just want to take this time to talk to the justices of the Supreme Court. Madam Chief Justice and all members of the Supreme Court, all justices of the Supreme Court. Please, I want to take this time to talk to you people, to appeal to your consciences that the peace and stability of this country lies in your hand. Some of you were around here in the 80s and very cognizant of what happened in the 80s. And it is only the rule of law that can protect us from going back in the dark days. I want to take this time that tomorrow, look at these things. Take a decision that will save Liberia, that will save your children, and that will make Liberia to be the home of your children's children, that all of us will be proud of. Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew, for giving me this opportunity to speak to the consciences and minds of the justices and Supreme Court on the Supreme Court bench. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Very nationalistic. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, let's go. Your name and where you come from? Let's hear you quick.
So breaking the Chief Justice. We want to do a lot tomorrow. We don't want no problem. We don't want our country will be running all around. We're breaking and we take God to break it tomorrow. That again, do a lot of one person.
You went off. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Thank you.
Let's hear you.
Hello. Yeah, hello.
You are on the air.
Yeah, hello. My name is Abraham Johnson. I'm joining what's the man. But I say, aren't you? I want to tell Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, you must count all we are still on. We're not counting our still on tomorrow. We have to be for school tomorrow.
Who hours now?
Yeah.
Who hours? When you say in our favor, who hours?
Yeah, the sedition and the sedition. They will not wait for how people.
That sedition, that sedition thing, eh? Everything that.
You know, the sedition.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, thank you.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, my brother.
I'm good. Thank God Almighty. And you?
Yeah, thank God. And this is my sister. I'm calling from Clarota. Yeah, let me say thank you for the show. Say, Andrew, we are calling on Francis Kofa and his group. And they may call Richard Kuhn. We are calling on their group. Tomorrow will be the last day for the ruling. I'm calling on the Chief Justice, Malasianen, you my sister. We beg you, allow us reserve or integrity or they should be living. But when integrity matter, she served that place for almost 70 years. We depending on the labor, depending on. We don't want no problem. Let them do the rest. Everybody can pressure you. Don't mad them. Let the rest be done. Let the justice be said. Who are the same thing? We're calling for the rule of law to prevail in our country.
All right.
So let them do the right thing. We're all calling us. So we're begging them. Nobody I'm on there. No, say, okay, you little cat. You put a interpreter in the mud. So we are calling on China, you know, do the right thing tomorrow. Or there's a system best. We're calling on them. Because when I read, they will really man say, oh, there's that, all of. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bye, Sisi. Have a nice day. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you call from? Let's hear you.
Well, I'm Emmanuel Group, calling from Mount Barclay. Yeah, what got my attention has to do with that of the attitude of our lawmakers enriching themselves and suffering the masses. I would want to recommend to government, if possible, civil society, that the stalemate that is happening at the house there, only in the name of separate branches of government, and these guys have been suffering. But we already in bondage. To find a cup of rice to eat is difficult. Just day before yesterday, I was traveling somewhere. I saw the children in uniform behind the house breaking pan canal. So God cares me from my eye. And all those tears, they will pay, that children will pay.
Thank you so much, sir.
I have to say is that let the power of the house be checked and balance. Let there be check and balance, and not by the house.
Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate this, that you have spiced up the first lap of the show. So that's what it is. Representative Marvin Cole was very definitive with his insinuation or allegation or suspicion of the vice president, that the vice president is putting undue pressure on the Supreme Court bench to twist everything in favor of Richie Cohn against the state. So it's about interest, personal interest. If Valley Korat said this is time that the American government should sanction these so-called lawmakers and government officials who are breaking the law of the country. This is time for real sanction. Don't worry, don't rush, hold on. Everything will fall in place with time. The American government is watching. They have pumped so much into this country. They have investments as well as other countries. Leave it. This is not Bwakari dynasty. This is not Bwakari state. This is not Bwakari personal affairs. He sits there and allow these guys, the people they are using Bwakari, they are using. Before Bwakari can realize it, it's late. Okay. So let's go now to what unfolded today. The entire country is tense, people. The country is tense. You ever expected that Unity Party you will see such under a rescue government? You ever imagine this atmosphere? You ever have seen it in your life under the Unity Party government, rescue government? The country is tense. Students now are taken to the streets. MCSS students, they were out everywhere. They were beaten. They were manhandled. Students, can you imagine? Not university students, but government students, government school students, with the chief principal in Bwakari. Bwakari is the chief principal. All government schools, we're responsible to our government. That's why I say government schools. Who the chief principal of government schools? That the president. When it comes to the university, they say visitor to the university. Some of the students were beaten. They were manhandled today by the Liberia National Police because they were expressing their rights. The Constitution of our country provides that. They were non-violent, they were peaceful. Their teachers are demanding increment. That is not forthcoming. The teachers stay off the classroom. These students pay money. Why they are not paying full tuition? Because it's government owned, but there are other fees they pay which are very significant. Besides that, they need their education. It is their future. No student, no teacher or teachers in the class. And they decided to put pressure on the government to protest. Protest is simply expressing one's opinion. That's what a protest is. A protest is never a violent, never a warfare, nothing. But because the politicians or the government will want to play on you, they will make you to think that protest, the definition of protest is war. Protest simply means opinion. Protest means opinion. You express your opinion. You take it from in out. And there are so many ways you can do it. You can come outside with your placard. You may not say a word, but you can speak by your writing. You see some people, they write several placards and just holding it, not saying anything. That message is going across. Some would not write anything, but they would decide to speak. Some, they will just sit down at a given place, not saying anything, they're sitting there. Some will go on hunger strike. There are too many ways you can express your opinion, your dissatisfaction, or your positivity, because that's the two ways of protest. It's positive and is when you express a dissenting opinion, that you aren't satisfied with what is unfolding or things are affecting you, and you're calling on the people who are responsible to settle it. The students got out, and then some of them were manhandled. Look at some of the pictures all on the internet. Students. And then on the other side, university protest. Corruption, protest. I think those are the nicknames of this government. Everywhere. The country is just tense. Where we are, the country is tense. If you are very observant, or if you haven't been, let me give you a hint. Observe it. Carefully observe it. Between 5:30, going to 6 o'clock, watch the atmosphere in Monrovia. Just like in 1990. See, many people will have left the streets, gone home. Businesses packed. You know what that tells you? The people just not safe. They feel that they're not in a place, or they are in a place where safety is not guaranteed. Therefore, they should take precaution. Observe it. I've seen that thing many times. Just today I sharing it with you. Between 5:30, 6, you see most part of Monrovia, the streets all clear. Businesses shut down, people parking or moving. And you know one of the reasons why they tried to do that, to be on the safe side, because they are seeing the awful predatory nature of the police. They are afraid. They just feel that anytime anything, already whole day and every day, Liberia National Police, State Police, immigration, everywhere they are rising. All of the business people all over. So one of the reasons the business people can try to pack quickly and leave, because they might just be harassed. So they try to escape. The little money they made, you go to say the police place now. I think the people, they have a whole warehouse with goods. And then you have protests all over the place. And JMB say there will be no business as usual. Here we are. It is business, the normal. Corruption all over the place. every ministry, every agency of government, they are manipulating. They are taking onto themselves. I don't know whether they feel that something might happen, so they just taking things onto themselves. They manipulating. They just withdrawing. All kinds of things happen to all of the ministries and agencies. We have president, but it seems the people know that the president is not in control. The few people that are around him who are helping him, they too, they are taking what they can take from their respective areas. So nothing proactive. People are not really vigilant. No check on these ministries or directors, deputy directors, ministers. So everybody doing. Corruption has overwhelmed rescue. The sanction that coming on rescue, the thing that you will hear about rescue, it will follow you more. But it will not be a surprise. All the things that they were complaining, they complained of government in the past, all of the things, it happened. Yeah, the man who were on Spoon Talk saying all kinds of things, Eugene Fagon, telling people if they came to Liberia, at that time Weah was still in power, if they came to Liberia, the latter part of Weah's reign, the last 2 years, if they came to Liberia, Weah will kill them. Weah will cut their neck. He was telling people, he was talking about corruption. Today, and you heard about that Chinese stuff? Now, Eugene Fagon, if LACC or if President Bouaka can suspend Eugene Fagon, then we know that truly Bouaka is protecting certain people in his government and just going after those people who came from the other side, though helping the country, but he just don't favor them. By now, I expect the president to release the suspension of the Director General of the Liberia Broadcasting System, Eugene Fagon. What Eugene Fagon did was complete blackmailing in that whole thing. That guy is a criminal. Now, God will expose all of these people. Everybody, God will expose them. Now, where was he exposing? And you're aware of that situation with the Chinese, right? When the information came out initially that Eugene Fagon inserted himself in that situation using his government power to protect and shield, people say, oh, that lie. They just want to spoil the government in. Oh, the opposition there. It's clear now. It's clear. He was on the other side. He said he debunking it. But the information, check all the documents. The people, the man himself confessed on everything. I expect at this time Bouaka will suspend him because when he said dismiss, Bouaka own a dismissal, his government dismissal, that suspension. So we expect that Bouaka will suspend him and turn him over to LACC. That was complete criminal. Criminal on Eugene Fagon's part. Criminal. Blackmailing. Stabbing the own government, the rescue government that he boasts of. Stabbing the rescue government in the back with that kind of high corruption. So much money he took. You see what God said in Matthew 7, Matthew 7:3-5, that if you think speck is in your brother's eye, if you think your brother is corrupt, and you're telling him to stop being corrupt because of his corrupt act, you want to rid him of it, you must firstly check yourself that you have not the least act of corruption so that he doesn't use it against you. Here we are now. FBS Director General. The same thing they were accusing past government officials of fronting, shielding, protecting, building hedge around their interest. Today, they are doing the same thing. Government officials, Unity Party, rescue government officials, they are fronting for people. They are shielding people who, do you know that several people, businesses and all in this country, they're not paying tax. There are government officials who are protecting them because these government officials go to them or they wire these government officials money in their account. How do we know that? LRA boss, we sat before the man. The man said it is one of the things that giving them hard time They're not collecting the kind of revenue because most of the businesses in this country, they are protected by officials in the Unity Party government. But yet the government is saying, let's get back to that man. All day, FBI will not be the same. So that the scare operation you've been using, we expect that Bwaka will suspend that man. When say Sako, because Bwaka on the dismissal the suspension, that Bwaka will sack him, or suspend him. So there where we are, the country is tense all over. It seems no control. The center is no longer holding. Too many things are happening. Too many bad things are happening all over the place. The country is just in a state of uneasiness, instability, insecurity, no assurance. The people that you should depend on, called the police, they have created a tense atmosphere, scary atmosphere amongst the people. Let's get to what unfolded. It was discussed by AB last night. He discussed that the Capitol building, ECOWAS mediation team, and Israel will add spies to it this morning on his show. What I'm going to do is to talk about the update. There is an update of that, not at the Capitol building, but ECOWAS delegation moved to and held talks with the melting pot of this country, the chief stabilizer of peace in this country. The man God first, he second. The man who wields so much respect and honor. The man who commands between 80 to 85% of the people of this country. Of all the stakeholders in this country, the only man who stands out for peace in this country, who has kept Liberia peaceful in everything from the war days to his election and after his election. The only Liberian politician that the international community sees, besides Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, respects and will always consult in on anything Liberia, not even the sitting president, George Weah. ECOWAS delegation moved to him today. They held talks with him on significant issues. The discussion centered on resolving the current misunderstanding, the confusion at the House of Representatives. They will talk on the importance of upholding the rule of law. The rule of law, which is sine qua non to development. You can never ever have a development in a country when the rule of law becomes the first casualty. And under the Bwaka government is what you're saying. The first casualty in this culture, the rule of law. So what you see happening? Everybody's skeptical of doing business with this government. Multilateral institutions and other businesses or partners, they are holding on. They are skeptical. They're not really sure. They're living with this suspicion that this situation in Liberia might escalate. Hence, they are protective of their investment. Like God said, where your treasure is, there where your heart will be. Who wants to put their treasures in this regime of Nebuchadnezzar and just lose it. Everywhere the atmosphere is tense. Look what we heard on the news. A man on the football field, believed to be within the office of Fonati Kofa, was clandestinely, surreptitiously, Nicodemously picked up and taken. Today, nowhere to find him. His family is worrying. We never saw, in Ellen's time, we never saw broad day kidnap. George Weah time, we never saw broad day kidnap. It is only in this government. The entire 12 years of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, we heard of NSA, but we never heard of snake den or snake chambers. The 6 years of former President George Weah, we never heard of snake chambers being used for torture at the NSA. It is in this government, and the list is just long. Where we are, the country now, the center is not holding. Everybody knows things are just bad off. The finance minister, on top of it, instead of giving hope, the finance minister will exacerbate the problem. The finance minister, instead of giving hope, will dash the little faith the people have in the economy of their country by telling them that the coming years will be even difficult, more frustrating. Today, people are now careful. And let me say to you, that is why we're telling you to play the King's Cash giveaway. So we're giving you money. Today, we're giving you 4,000. Tomorrow, we'll give you 10,000. And day after tomorrow, 10,000. And the next day, 10,000. The reason for this, so that you will have money, so that you will be able to reserve, because you can never tell. The finance minister has made it clear that the years ahead of us are going to be very, very, very difficult. Things will be hard and harder. And we have seen it. We are seeing the signs. The signs are all over the place. The signs are all over the place. You don't need God to send Daniel to come and explain the writing on the wall. The finance minister, given our situation, as poor as we are, though we are rich with natural resources, we put the natural resources at the disposal of foreigners. They take all of our stuff, including the raw products, move with it, and give us peanuts in return. And those peanuts get into the pocket of the quote-unquote politicians and stakeholders. That Liberia is poor. Liberia is a subservient country. A subservient country is that country that survives at the mercy of other countries. That is why you see today, year in, year out, Liberia is a begging country. Depending on this, we're hoping our partners will do this for us. We are speaking with our partner. Not a single government will come to power, and you hear that we are doing this, we have done this, we'll do this. Nothing. Ghana can stand on its own when there is crisis. Ivory Coast can stand on its own when there is crisis. Sierra Leone can stand on its own when there is crisis. Guinea can stand on its own when there is crisis. Nigeria can stand on its own when there is crisis. Let's talk about the other countries. Only Liberia can never, ever. And not that Liberia can stand on its own, but the guys in this country, and everything start, all the kleptocrats, all the greedy, the bigotry, and every other thing start from that place called legislature. You got poor, mentally tiny people being elected to the legislature. And the only thing they think about how they can get the thousands of dollars and look for land and start to build a house because their colleagues went there and the colleagues got rich. So they think they should go. And that's how most of these guys, none of those people ever went to the legislature to help this country. All of the guys who had gone to that legislature, all of the guys and women, they went there with one intent to enrich themselves. They had no time, as evident by what you see the country is in today. Should we be in the state that we are in? No. 176 years old. The only thing this country can boast of, age. Development, 0. Rule of law, 0. Corruption, 500%. But people, so that's it. So the ECOWAS delegation went to the former president, former President George Weah, and then they had a meeting to resolve the impasse at the House of Representatives. While MCSS students are protesting all over the place, University of Liberia students too are protesting all over the place. Protests all over. Corruption has overwhelmed the government. Boaga said he's not coming new to the presidency, but I think he's new in grain because everything about his government is down the drain. Everything about his government is down the drain. Everything. So much so that all of the predictions, the prophecies, and revelation people had from God, we see it. We see all of those things happening. All. Here is one of them.
God told me, they said the only way Liberia will move forward is that His Excellency Joseph Yema Boakai, ambassador, have to make peace to reconcile with George Weah. That's the only way Liberia will move forward. If he failed to do this, warning on him, God said, as you sounded as a caveat to Joseph Boakai, if he failed to reconcile with George Weah, this nation, what we are going through now is just a prelude. A full year from now on, you won't be a woman will look at their own child and sell them for living, because there will be no way for the government to survive. This government is about to collapse in the next 1 year, not 2 years. This government will soon collapse. There will be no money to pay civil servants, to pay government workers.
Did God say people will sell their children for survival?
Yes, that's what I said. That's what God told me. So I should be blunt to tell His Excellency Ambassador Boakai, George Weah is an innocent man. Or he said, except Honorable Boakai, who is the current president, go to George Weah as his son and make peace with him. If he made peace with George Weah, he honorably reconcile with him and ask for forgiveness. And then the international community, the NGO that put out of Liberia, they will return to Liberia. Liberia will turn to honey, milk and honey like the land, the promised land that God talks about.
Between the two, who is the cursed person?
The cursed person is Joseph Boakai. The blessed one is Ambassador George Weah.
And so he has to move to reconcile with Weah. That's the only way peace.
That's the only way peace will reign in Liberia. Tranquility will return to Liberia. If not, what we're going through now is just a prelude, but the suffering is about to come in the next full year. It will be a calamity where you won't be man or wife will take a child and sell them for money to live because the government is about to collapse. And when the government collapse, they made there's no way to turn. Human will eat human. People will eat their own flesh and drink their own blood in Liberia.
Why would God want to do that?
God want to do it because of the wickedness of his father Boakai. It's Joseph Boakai.
And the wicked person is?
Joseph Boakai, Joseph M. Boakai, who is the ambassador, the president, His Excellency. When he continues in power, the Liberian people will suffer. People will sell their own children. It happened in the days of, does not repent for a start of leadership. Then the 4 years will come. This government will collapse.
Philip Nangbe said, not just snake chamber, they got men raping chambers. Yeah, the sodomites. We heard of sodomites in there. Yeah, and that's it. Boakai will do nothing to Eugene. We all saw what happened when Mark Jabate, after he threatened Yeke. That's true. There are certain people in Boakai government, they are untouchable. Dubon Hill said things are seriously falling apart. Yeah. The Congress for Democratic Change is holding a news conference. We'll bring you excerpt from that very shortly. Yeah. And who else? Alex, let me read Matthew Choloplay comment before I get to Alex. Matthew Choloplay say all those government officials, no Boakai, can run this country. So they are doing their own things. And Alex Hopkins, Weah Hopkins, he said, no, I can't use that expression. He said, Weah will not come back, Mr. Fool. He referring to me. He said, Weah will not come back. I can't use that expression that he used. Interestingly, they say people can curse, but they are the how they call the Unity Party. They can call it Bawe. Yeah, let me read the last line. The other ones that he wrote, they are too bad. He said, Weah will not come back to power, Mr. Fool. Then he comes, he say, you, Sam Andrews, you are fake. Join their list. You are a DL. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ellis Weah Hopkins. I take it as a compliment as long as we are doing what is right for the country. Yeah? So let's take a few calls while we get ready, make the necessary connection to go live at the headquarters of the Congress of Democratic Change. Let's take a few calls on these, and then we are out of the show. The King's Cash giveaway is 4,000. We're giving out 4,000. Please take your 4,000. I told you where we are right now. You need money, and you need money to save money. If you can take 4,000 today, Tuesday, I don't know when you will take it. You can never tell. Everything in this country is upside down. We are giving you 4,000. Take that 4,000 by putting in $1, Liberian dollar, or 70 cents US, dial *799 *24#, and then you have your 4,000. If you have not understood it, well, I don't know how to. If you don't have Unity Party mark, you finish. If you have Unity Party mark, you will survive. In the tribulation period, that's how it will be. So we are giving out 4,000. 4,000. Take that 4,000, yeah? Okay. Let's take a few calls, and then we are out for today. 0772 23 99 33 0886 30 44 97. The women's line 0777 9803 75. Hello. Yes.
This is Pastor Cooper. I call from Bannersville, District 11.
Let's hear you, Pastor Cooper.
Yeah, firstly, I want to condemn that guy who sent that text to you. That comment.
He entitled to his opinion.
Yeah, that's a wrong opinion. They got evil opinion. Not all opinion are right opinion. So gotta address that. In the first place, you are speaking reality. You are speaking current evil that going on to the JMP government. We need to address these things. Go at the day that you intimidate people who are on radio. You see, Liberians, especially for the younger generation, and the Bible says we are living in the age of wealth and knowledge, and silence will say that they are very dull, as you always said. How can you be a man who go to school? You said that elected a very old man who does not have vision or plan or blueprint to carry the country forward. in less than 1.5 years, the country is crumbling. The constitution has been violated. The rule of law no longer exists. Corruption all over the government, like all wasting over rights, and you're sitting down in a kind of generation, you can't acknowledge that. Like people.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a nice Tuesday. Hello.
Hello.
Let's hear you. Your name and where you call from.
Oh, I'm Samuel calling from Broadview.
Let's hear you.
Yes, my brother. Thank you very much for the topic. I just want to say something I always say anytime I go to our gathering. Joseph Boakai administration will not succeed because if you look at Joseph Boakai inauguration, Joseph Boakai collapsed. That alone, I can always tell people that collapse that Joseph Boakai collapsed represent a disaster for Liberia. Yes.
All right. Thank you. Hello.
Hello, my brother.
Let's hear you.
From the P5 to the freeway.
Let's hear you.
My dear brother, for 1847 to come to this date, the only thing that God will lack in the country will
Your line cracking. Hello.
Hello.
Let's hear you.
Back of introduction. My name is Prince Duty City Comedy called Rockland Talking. Oh, Mr. Say Andrew, the man who sent that text to you, Papa. Tell him with God.
No, the man,
they are after people.
No, the man entitled to his opinion. It doesn't matter.
No problem. But I would just want to then keep sending those kind of reckless texts or texts to you. God will punish you.
All right, thank you. So let's go. Let's see what we can connect from where we are to the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change. Hello. Hello.
Hello, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for your program. This is leadership from God.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell the world and Liberia. The baby bread is in the hand of Unity Party. Either Unity Party kill the bread or allow the bread.
Go straight to the point. Take a parable. Take a parable. Just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. And so what I'm trying to say, we come back. The way Unity Party will govern, Liberia people will be with them. But the way they start the first year, the second year going a day, they are running the most campaign for Weah. So thank you, brother.
Thank you too. Have a nice Tuesday. All right. So yesterday, they insulted. They threw ECOWAS delegation out. They said all kinds of stuff against the people, awful things. And then they press people who are responsible for putting out the information, the junta press. They say, oh, it was not like that, and the man came, and he's just in his figure. All kind of nonsense they released yesterday. But the people are mature. When you try to broker peace, you will have resistance. You will have insults coming your way. You will have some cutting remarks. You will have all of those things happening. Mediator is not somebody with soft skin. It's not somebody who is temperamental. No, mediators, they are like dumpers. They accept all of the dice you will throw. The people exercise restraint, the patience, everything. The same people who threw them outside, who said all kinds of things, junta leader and his people, they call the people today. After meeting with former President George Weah, they went to the junta leader. Then they say the cabinet release statement on it. Chief, concede defeat. After you insulted the people, this is not how you make amends. You finish you and your people, you're insulted. You say all kinds of things to the people. the people exercise patience because they want the crisis to be resolved. They know you are not the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Not because Bwaka made contact with certain people around, you went to, how they call it, Nigeria Parliament. Instead of meeting, the boss meeting you, they seconded the deputy speaker to meet you, which was demeaning. You went on the other side, think that the Ivorian Parliament, instead of the overall boss meeting you, you met parliamentary officials, committee members, and other places. Bwaka tried to give you legitimacy regionally, but the people are aware that you are not the speaker. They will not fan you off. They will not reject you. They, out of respect for Bwaka, they will accept you. That's what Rachel Kuhn does not know. In diplomacy, the people can insult you intelligently. They can tell you intelligently that we see you as a literate person, but it looks like you don't know. You don't understand your literacy. They will not refuse. They're not accepting, or they were not accepting Rachel Kuhn because they see him as the Speaker of the House of Representatives in Liberia. No, some of you that saw all of those things, don't be carried away by that. It was out of respect for Joseph Yuma Bwaka as president of Liberia, but they can never recognize. To recognize somebody is to give an official endorsement. That, oh, you saw what happened in Ghana? The inauguration, Bwaka went ahead to plead for Rachel Kuhn. Rachel Kuhn, he was there. They recognized him perfunctorily. The Ghanaian parliament speaker came here. In Liberia, the man stood at Farmington Hotel and said the rule of law must prevail. In essence, by that statement, the man said, Rachel Kuhn is not the speaker. Fonati Kofa is the speaker. Let the rule of law prevail. What the law say, that's what should happen. So what more now? What more? He can and he will never. His own man told him the best thing to do is to step down, save your character. His own man, their chief propagandist in their man. He told them that the man step down.
Rachel Kuhn can do better. Can do better to say, you know what, you're okay, you're trouble, let me serve my people as representative. He's in a bad spot. Rachel Kuhn is going down in history. Let a neglected, rejected, disowned speaker at this time. That Rachel Kuhn is in a bad spot. If Rachel Kuhn thinks that the people want him as speaker to serve the whole Wahara, he should open an election. If Rachel Kuhn thinks he got 57 individuals that are willing to support him to shut down for the Kofa and bring some respect to that house, Rachel Kuhn should open a new election. He should step down and ask the people to go for election. It will end this whole Wahara. It will end this whole thing.
I challenge him. He can never, ever do that. He can never, ever do that. He can never. Even God comes down and tell him the same thing, he will say no. You know why? He knows his incompetence. He knows his ineptitude. He knows his elementary. He knows his mechanical. He knows everything, nothing about him to ascend. So he will not. That's the reason they're forcing it. Y'all look at the whole thing, how it's being played. That's the reason. Marvin Cole said the vice president calling members of the Supreme Court bench to do this, to do that, all kind of stuff. I don't take that to be true. But I'm only saying, by Kuhn's own ability, he can never ever win the least person in that place. Even you take janitor to contest against Rachel Kuhn in that place, the janitor will win. That's why he's holding on. That's why he's doing all of what they are doing. That's why they don't want to open anything. Look how the man was installed. There was no election, nothing parliamentary that took place. Then when they call them junta and call him junta leader, then he getting vexed. Nothing parliamentary. And it will be a big blow, it will be a big shame, the disgrace they don't want. That's why they try to influence him to work in favor of them so he will stay on as quote-unquote speaker. Even as that, nobody will recognize him as speaker. Assume the Supreme Court ruled by their determination that this man is a speaker because of this and that. We can never call Richard Coon speaker. We'll still call him Representative Richard Coon. And he will not have that conscience. But when the man go out, you're listening to the man, when the man go out, look at the man. The man does not have that stature. He does not have that personality of a speaker. The man even know what to say when he goes in some gathering. The man just go for understudy. Let's get few lines from the Congress of Democratic Change. They are having a news conference.
The elected Senator came here to battle us.
The conference is being presided over by Avin Weah, just so you know.
The people again.
Who's speaking?
One step in history. They reminded though that this country is a country of law, it's a country of the Constitution, it's a country of democracy. You cannot suspend the Constitution and institutional martial law that abrogates the fundamental constitutional inalienable democratic franchise of the broader masses of our people. And so it reminded though after April 12, 1980. In the late 1997, the people again, whether the emergence of a reckless gambler, a gangster par excellence, Mr. Charles Gangetelo, who tried to obliterate the Constitution and outlaw most of the democratic tenets and precepts. The people again moved into history once more. And then it witnessed the emergence of the last doctor of the two party, Ellen Joseph Salif, and the backbone status of the Unity Party emergence in 2004 and 2005 election. The people stood in a salvo on the banner of the Indomitable Mountain Congress for Democratic Change. The reminder that the last daughter of the two party that our ancestors, the forefathers, confronted your ancestors. And so we are now going to allow you to masquerade and parade with the cultural impunity. And so the populous people movement began to emerge from those communal character and lubricant from the 15 sub-political divisions and the amalgamated conscious efforts and forces along the balance of the Indomitable Mountain Congress for Democratic Change. In the fight for social justice and academic freedom, the people who were in the world that agitating they came to power in 2017 and later on gave the masses of the people the sense and the meaning to democracy. The build schools, the electricity, the declare free education, they uphold the fabric of our democracy. And after the people again in their democratic right chose a man that is been referred to in history as a historical mistake, whose ascendancy to the presidency is by historical accident, Weah. And yet, are we today Congress? The masses of the people are now confronted with Joseph Weah, a moment of embarrassment and a wholesale contradiction to the motherland. Wasted for the 2 years in government. Here are the contradictions Congress. Follow me, members of the folk, that's the distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to go through the press release that has been crafted and well written by the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Coalition for Democratic Change, Revolutionary National Youth League, Banners Compound, Torment Boulevard, Compound, Monrovia, Liberia. March 25th, 2025, first statement. Citizen Youth League condemns Supreme Court's denial of motorcyclists' petition, stands in solidarity with MCSS students, and exposes Nimot's Weah's Meter report as a political cover-up. Fellow Liberians, the members of the folk estates, Americans and cadres of the Indomitable Mountain Congress for Democratic Change. The Revolutionary National Youth League of the Coalition for Democratic Change is disheartened by the recent Supreme Court ruling denying the petition filed by Solidarity and Trust for a New Day stand on behalf of motorcyclists and keke riders. This decision effectively opposed an unjust and oppressive ban that continues to suffocate the livelihoods of thousands of young Liberians who depend on these means of transportation to survive. The Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty Congress for Democratic Change has opposed these restrictions on grounds that they constitute a deliberate economic assault on struggling Liberians who are simply trying to earn an honest living. The government's failure to review and lift these arbitrary bans, now supported by a disappointing judicial ruling, is a vivid exposure of systemic neglect of the rights and freedoms of our people under Joseph Newman Vaga, the reckless octogenarian. Fellow Liberians and members of the press, distinguished militants and cadres of the Indomitable Mighty Congress for Democratic Change. The UP want to call on the government to immediately reconsider the policy and take urgent steps to reintegrate motorcyclists in the transportation network. We demand fair, regulated, and just conditions for their operations over this reactionary ban. We call for an end to targeted oppression of motorcyclists and keke riders across the landscape. The Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty Congress for Democratic Change reaffirms its solidarity with the motorcyclists and support every action that will be taken in the coming days to seek redress of their grievances in demand for the rights and the freedom to movement. Furthermore, the Youth League expresses full solidarity with the students of the Monrovia Consolidated School System, MCSS for short, who have been forced to protest due to teachers laying down their tracks over unpaid salaries. It is a disgrace that in a country where education is declared a priority, students are denied access to learning because the government cannot meet its basic obligation to educate us. This process is a proof of the Baker's administration's failure to prioritize education and youth development.
Forward, solidarity forces, forward.
The Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty Congress for Democratic Change categorically condemns the police brutality being unleashed against these students, ambulance struggling, economically dispossessed students for the masses of our people, and call for the immediate release of the over 7 students who were arrested, imprisoned, and incarcerated by the untrained, unenlightened barbarians masquerading under the banner of the Liberian National Police.
Yo, we need a student. Yo. The students are down.
The Youth League demands this government to ensure MCSS teachers receive their salaries immediately so that students can return to their classrooms. The Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty Congress for Democratic Change already categorically rejects the deceptive Water Meetup report published by partisan Eddie Jabo on the bar of legal, which distorts fulfillment of promised by the regime of this first year. This so-called assessment is nothing more than a political shield designed to protect Bakai, from accountability. Fraught with many contradictions and deceptions, the report deliberately inflates government's achievements and ignores key failures. It also refuses to hold the UP regime responsible for the worsening economic and social conditions in Liberia, even when the current incompetent Prime Minister will say, let's pray for Liberia, and he will say things are worse and things will continue to be worse on his administration.
Down, crab in economy, down.
Down, everybody be more down.
Fall, we are no Mr. Fall. We are no Mr. Fall.
Yo, fellow Liberians, these are the truths behind Nebos Waga Mythos report. Here are the truths. 1. Only 5 out of the 106 promises, which is 4%, have been completed. Unfortunately, a policy of the United attempt to mask this failure by categorizing 80 promises as ongoing without providing any measurable benchmarks.
The Congress for Democratic Change Youth League press conference currently ongoing at the headquarters of the Congress for Democratic Change. We brought you excerpts from that press conference that is being presided over by Avin Weah. All right. So a couple of the students arrested, brutalized. Okay. So back to the meeting the former president had with ECOWAS. Yeah, he met with them. The meeting took place at his office, his Jamaica Resort office. And the meeting was very crucial. It centered on the rule of law, which is the fundamental pillar for Liberia's progress, given the tension in the country. And the former president will talk about the conduct, the way things are unfolding in the country. And it's not a good sign for the country, especially with international partners who have decided or attempting to come to Liberia might reverse their decision. Yeah, and he will talk about why he considered defeat the country first. Let me give you a verbatim. He said, "My decision to concede defeat before the announcement of the final results and promptly congratulated President Boakai after the election was to safeguard our nation's peace and stability by reducing post-election tension." Right. And ECOWAS will reaffirm its commitment during the meeting to regional stability and pledge their continued support for Liberia's democratic institution. Excerpts from the meeting they held with former President George Weah at his private office this morning ahead of the Supreme Court's hearing arguments into the Bill of Information filed by Councillor Fonati Kofa. That will be on tomorrow, the 26th of March. And thereafter, a determination will be made which way it goes. LIB. Yes, you announce, you all know. So what Representative Yeka Koliba said he had a news conference. He had a news conference today too. And he is also alleging in his news conference that Vice President Cohn had threatened the Chief Justice and Associate Justices with impeachment and would deny them their benefits if they heard the Bill of Information filed by Councilor Fonati Kofa. Representative Yeka Koliba held a news conference, and he too, just as Marvin Cole descended on the vice president, he too descended on the vice president, alleging that the vice president threatened the Chief Justice and Associate Justices with impeachment, and that they will be denied their benefits if they heard the Bill of Information and rule in favor of Richard Cohn as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Let's bring you an excerpt from that news conference by the representative, and then we'll take a few calls, and then we are out for today. But there where we are, tension is high, tension is rising in the country. Yeah, let's get few, just few.
Which one the ministry that was controlled by Tomo Fala to steal the liberal money, telling other people how to make them Chief Justice. It is everybody right that on the Supreme Court bench will become Chief Justice, but not to start influencing the process. Start giving money to the people, start promising them things to influence the process, telling the people, you people can hear the case, but do not get rooted. I think in my mind is wrong. The people on the Supreme Court bench need to have the free will to do what they want to do. In fact, threatening some of them, what happened to Kabina Janet, they will do it to them. It's wrong. Let me say to the Liberian people, when the war was coming, the people say, oh, where for door? But they carry window and all. They carry bathroom window and all. They carry living room window and all. So when something is happening, if something will happen, it will not be for individuals. People that you least expect to get affected in the process will be affected. It's like the rain. When the rain is coming, you don't pick and choose what zinc to go on. It rains on everybody. We are calling on the Liberian people to get involved. I'm not saying the Supreme Court should rule in our favor. The Supreme Court got no case to hear. The only thing the Supreme Court needs to do is for our mothers, Latin they call antiviral. What do you call antiviral? Explain to the people. We not say go through the case. We are not asking the Supreme Court to go through case. We say, what you say, please make it clearer for our people. Because it is because of the big book you spoke that what get Thomas Fala them misbehaving the way they are misbehaving today. It's because of the big book you spoke. Now what get Famula then telling you people say all the things you told and liquor talk. It is because of the big English you spoke. So we're only asking you people, you our mothers, our fathers, make it clear to the people. Come out and say what I said, this is what I said. And if you go against us, we'll respect the Supreme Court. But you will not get resignation from Fonati Kofa. Let me tell you, any kind of way you do it, you will not get resignation from Fonati Kofa. You will not. If you rule against us, we'll go sit down. But remember, the resignation you want for you to do what you want to do, you will not get it. I can give you that assurance. You will not get it. So we call it on Jeremiah Kuhn to please look for something to do. You know, today is not a real summer. We want to condemn the manner and form in which the students were brutalized today under the instruction of Joseph Boakai. But I will speak about that in the summer. The summer is going to be very powerful. We've got a lot of things to talk about. So we'll be encouraging our members to start watching. When you see the Yege TV alight, that means the summer has started. That means Bishop Yege Koleba will be preaching. In the summer, the next summer to come, it will be heavier than last week. One Sunday summer. We will talk about the manner and form in which Joseph Boakai gave instruction for our students, our children, the students to be brutalized, the peaceful student to be brutalized. We will talk about it. But that will be done in the summer, because in the summer, where you have the praise and worship, when the summertime reach, you know, when the bishop is behind the pulpit, that time he can be filled with God and the power of God, and the preaching will be very, very heavy. So I want to appreciate all of you people that came to church this on Sunday. Watch out. When you see the Yege TV alight, that means the summer has started. And this summer will be very powerful, because this summer will talk about a lot of things. This summer will talk about which are the ministries that were controlled by Thomas Fala. Which one the ministry that were controlled by Thomas Fala to steal the liberation money. And you know, after my summer, they on Sunday, a lot of people call me, oh, you know, forget about chairmanability, you know, forget about the speaker. Yeah, okay, I will forget about them. But you're please tell them they get something that I want, so I can show it to the liberal people. Yeah, they know how to get it. They got something that I want. That what brought the frustration in the summer on Sunday. That I started to pass by them. I just pass by them. I don't hate them. I just pass by them. I just touch them small. So to all my supporters I call, I take your advice here. But you please tell Speaker Kofa and chairmanability to prevail on the people that got the things that I want to give it to me. So I can use it for Sunday summer. Or if there'll be any summer they coming Sunday. The preacher will be preaching. And the summer will be very powerful. The Spirit of God will touch people. And people will be blessed. We want to say thank you. You're not informed, and tell Jeremiah Kuhn to leave the Supreme Court people alone. Let the people rule. Let them stop influencing the process. So this is just information we're getting. If what we heard come to reality and the Supreme Court bench don't rule to say anything to make that ruling clear, this is what we got from last night up to this morning. Jeremiah Kuhn is harassing the people, telling the Chief Justice how she coming to leave. If she get ruling in this case, she will not get her benefits. And some people on the Supreme Court will be impinged. So maybe the information is true. They will be afraid not to do it. So we'll watch the process and see. Because the only thing they need to do is, we can't then we say, please make your ruling clear. Finish. You don't get no case to go through. You go through the case already, you rule. Just make it clear for the liberal people that all we want you to do. So we want you to be like what Jeremiah on trying to influence the process according to our information for you to not rule. You will just hear the case. I know you people will rule. Because you people are interpreted to protect. Look, people on the Supreme Court bench, those are people that have interpreted to protect. Because this matter will carry the country back to the dark days. Oh, you people don't know that? If Joseph Boakai can be born in the Capitol building, you know where the one carry the country to and say, this is what the Supreme Court said? Supreme Court people, they want to use your mouth to chew their pepper. No, let them use their own mouth to chew their pepper. Let them use their own mouth to chew their pepper. Let them use their own hands to take the fire from the copper. The hunter or the animal
Now I want to see the hunter gone. That animal here will lay in the promoter part. When you see the ants throw the boom, that means the boom can fit in your mouth. I want to say thank you and God bless everybody. Thank you so much. I will take
Bishop Yeka Koluba, after Marvin Cole said this, Bishop Yeka Koluba, Marvin Cole spoke before him. Yes, we had Marvin Cole press conference just around 1:30 when he said this.
Put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
Okay, then this one.
It is unconfirmed, but you know, our local language or parlance, people say, where there is smoke, it's likely that you see fire. Vice President Kuhn is trying to use undue influence, but we believe in the integrity of the court and those members of the bench, from the Chief Justice to all of the 4 associate justices. Those individuals are people with impeccable character, people of integrity, that you cannot ban it, you cannot do anything. We are calling on the Vice President to stop his undue influence. The law is the law, and you are not going to bend the law in any means. It is clearly understood and believed that he's placing call to members of the Supreme Court bench trying to gamble the CJ position, because you know that the Chief Justice soon to retire. And he assuring some of the justices, those people are smarter than you are, Mr. Vice President.
Isn't the same thing that that Representative Yeka Kolovat said? The two of them are saying the same thing, just using different words. So their ideas are the same. Then this one, which is very, very strong.
They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. Believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency. They are believing to put more pressure on the old man so that he can give her the goals, and then they will assume criminally the democratically elected seat of our republic, that is the presidency.
Let's go. Let's take a few cards. So Bishop Yeka Koluba, Pastor Yeka Koluba, I said, oh, the two guys are saying the same thing. It will not be a surprise when we hear from another representative. It will not be a surprise when we hear from the Rule of Law Caucus chair, Representative Musa Hassan Bility, one of the guys who are very close to all of these things that are happening. So it will not be a surprise. Yeke has opened his church, and the pastor then he want to. The politicians would take the position of both pastor and politicians. And the pastor said, "You want to? Oh, you're sitting there. All these things happening. You're sitting there. You're muted." Let me see. The speaker said something, but not today. He said this. I think 2 days ago. Yeah, he said this 2 days ago. If you know what a parable is, if you study the parable of Jesus and you have studied parable, well, you know that he's saying something terrible. I just thought to share it with you. He said, I was a pill of wreck before God's eyes. And then my righteousness said, Elijah was a man just like you. So you go in the Bible and read that expression. Well, that's all. If you understand what parable is. So that's it. My future plays a powerful Bishop Yeke. They may invite all his people to church. And the pastor they want to, so the politicians will serve in both capacities, both as pastor and politicians, with that kind of situation. To the extent that you see mediators from other countries come into your country to help, and they were abused, they were used, they were spit at, all kinds of things happen. You see where we are. The Supreme Court is about, after hearing arguments on tomorrow, and then at a later date make a determination as per the education provided us by legal expert A.B. Weah. You pastors, Christians, imams, you're saying all these things till now, all the way we've been talking, nobody, you stay muted. But let something happen. Let it say, oh, the part doing it. Then you'll say, oh, we'll call him 3 days fast. I challenge any pastor in this country to ever say they're calling for 3-day fast and prayer. We'll condemn you to the letter. You think pastors are only for 3-day fast and prayer? That's why you pastors reduce yourself. So that's why the people can respect you in this country. Everything 3-day fast and prayer, 3-day fast and prayer. You see what it is when you compromise. You can talk. Boaka use your, you say your educated pastors. You see how Boaka reduce your, Boaka corner all of your, mute your. He gave your BB positions. Chairman of this other place, member of this other bowl, member of that other bowl. You're taking 5,000. You can talk. You dare talk. Boaka will tell you from there. And when it is announced that Boaka tell you from the bowl, you will be shamed. Disgrace will be all over you. The religious advisor to Boaka, Gelly Brown, she muted. So the politicians will serve as both bishop, both pastors, and politicians. Hey, you can open a church. He says, Sunday, all the members should go to church. He said, they say what Jews say. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Let me just take few calls here, and then we go. Let's do it quick now. Just a few calls after listening to those, and then we just few calls on 0772 23 99 33 at 086304497, the women's line 07779800375. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, let's go quick.
Yeah, I sat by my radio and I listened to Yeke recording or whatsoever I got of Mexico. You know, Yeke having a church or...
My man, go straight to the point. Don't historicize anything. Just go straight. What you call for to say?
Okay, yeah. Yeke can say what you want to say. Yeke is not somebody that is trusted in this country. He's very controversial.
All right.
He can't threaten the peace of the country in any way. So
but the man threatening any peace? What gonna man? The city Malfinko said that they got the information that the vice president is influencing. He's putting undue influence on the people at the Supreme Court. Then you say threat. What gonna threat? Hello. Yeah, let's hear you quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think these guys they are secret fans. You can come on the air when you play an audio where you can express yourself in defense of students that you are marching today. Brutalize them. 7 of them are beyond bar. Then you're talking about the matter making sense. He's not insulting. He's making issues.
Don't mind me, yeah. All right,
so
Chief.
why people are so naive in this country, Andrews?
All right.
We need to understand. No, you see.
Thank you, Chief.
Brother, yeah, La Plante will graduate from this.
All right.
You can pay data and can't call on the air and talk nonsense. Why people throwing at beyond bar down there? You can pay MCSS students and the teachers.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, let's hear you quick.
I want somebody saying that you can call back and saying a lot of things. I want to like
Hey, my man, forget about that person. Just say what you call to say.
Nothing can do that over, and nobody can tell me that when you do the right thing, you will not pay a benefit, they will pay a benefit, you will not pay a benefit. You
Okay.
take them to court, that emigrants go to them to court. So that
All right,
you
Chief.
need to protect the integrity.
Thank you
very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello. Let's hear you quick.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you are on the air.
This is Mr. Freeman. How you doing? I did thank God we got control the Liberia. The way Liberia looking at how we got a representative like Yaka Koruba. Because Liberia is a confused country. We're a confused citizen. So thank God we got a confused lawmaker. What keep confusing the citizen? Yaka Koruba yesterday in your there crossing the former president. Yeah, there. He started
oh, my man, we passed that era now, man. My man, we passed that era. The man cautioning. Oh, my man, you all go off, man. Chief. The man giving a caution of what they heard, the information they received. Then you say yesterday the mail causing. Some of you, when you all get money in the phone, it can be too much. You ain't know what to do. All right. Yeah, thank you. That's all the time we've got to be on the show. The news is on in just under 30 minutes. King's Newsroom at 6. You want to join in and get the latest of the events unfolding. And then at 8 this evening, you have Face the Issues with Teacher Light. Thank you so much, all of you who spice up the show. Can appreciate you the more. You are so good, so extraordinary, so massive. Let's do it tomorrow, if God permits. I'm Sam Andrews. Shalom.